everyone, and my name is Yula, and today we're gonna read the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission Book 26, Bottle of the Blue Down, and today we're gonna start reading at chapter 3, A Race Against Time, and the end of reading at chapter 4, okay? And now, are you ready for this one book with a lot of stories? And now, here we go! And first we can read is the Magic Tree of Merlin Mission Book 26, Bottle of the Blue Down, started at chapter 3. Chapter 3, A Race Against Time. The Alaskan boy looked at Jack and Annie. "They can't delay," he whispered frantically. "It sounds like medicine its own way," Jack said, trying to calm him. "It will arrive once the storm passes. But it needs to get here as soon as possible," said Oki. "The doctor said," started Annie. "The doctor can do nothing until the medicine arrives," Oki said. "But there is something I can do," said he handed down to the hole and hurried out to the front door of the hospital to dark. As he left, a gust of frigid air blew into the waiting room. "That's it," said Annie to Jack. "What?" he said. "Our mission. Help save the lives of these sick people." Annie said, "That's why Merlin sent us here." "I think you're right," said Jack. "So let's talk to the doctor and the nurse to find out what we can do." "No, we should go," said Annie. "Go where?" said Jack. "To save Oki's life first," said Annie. "But he is not one of the people in danger," said Jack. "He will be. He's going to do something crazy. I can feel it," said Annie. "Come on." She took off down to the hallway and out at the front door. Jack followed her into the icy cold. The moon was full and bright overhead. "There," said Annie. Before Jack could stop her, she took off after an Alaskan boy. "Oki, wait!" she shouted. Jack hurried after Annie down to the moonlit boardwalk, and then he caught up with Oki and were painting, her breath bellowing into the air. "Stop!" said Annie. "We want to help you." "How can you help me?" said the boy. He kept walking. Annie and Jack fell into the step beside him. "We came to the gnome to help people fight into the ambitim," said Annie. "Only the medicine can help," said Oki. "They might all die soon if they were due not getting the medicine," said "Why can't you bring the medicine here by boat?" said Jack. "The sea's frozen," said Oki. "Just look." "Well, what about a plane?" said Annie. "No plane can fly at 40 or 50 degrees below zero," said Oki. "The pirate will gonna freeze." "Oh yeah, you're right," said Jack. "Planes in 1925 must still have open cockpits," he thought. "A car?" said Annie. "No roads in winter," said Oki. "The only way to gnome is by dog sled over to the mail trail." "So what are you gonna plan to?" said Jack. "I'll take a team of dogs, find Gunner Casson," said Oki. "I'll travel through the storm and bring the medicine back myself." "But what about that blizzard?" said Jack. The one of the mayor was talking about the huge blizzard sweeping down from Arctic. "Any good musher with a good team of dogs can handle a blizzard, said Oki. What's your team? Said Annie. My Uncle Joy is a mail carrier, said Oki. He has a team that runs to the Fort Safety Salomon that beyond all the time. So, your Uncle Joy will gonna go with you? Said Annie. No, he was broken leg from the sled accident, said Oki. But I'm not afraid to go alone, said Jack and Annie have hurried alongside Oki until they came back to the shack on a split of a land near the frozen sea. Jack and Annie hurried alongside Oki until they came to the shack onto the slip of the land near the frozen sea. Oh, look, there's a lot of dogs in this picture. Now, this of the dogs will gonna help Oki get the medicine. In the bright moonlight, Jack could see that a shack made of old driftwood and fled into the tin cans. Smoke was rising up to the stovepipe on the roof. This is my uncle's house, said Oki, and those are the huskies. Next to the small house have a long dog pen, surrounded by the wire fence. The dog sled was inside at the dark bodies. The dog pen surrounded by the wire fence. A dog sled was inside at the pen. 8 huskies are sleeping in the snow, their dark bodies curled up together to the deep warmth. Oh, wow, breathed Annie. The dogs woke up at the sound of the voices. They lifted off their feet, began yapping and whining. Hi, guys, Annie said, hurrying to the fence, to the pen. Them. Careful, said Oki. They are very strong. They can jump up. But Annie had an instant connection with the dogs. You're so beautiful, she said, reaching over to the fence, rubbing the different fairy heads. Hey, what's your name? What's your name? As Annie spoke, the dogs fed their ears and their lips covered with 2 smiles. They really like her, Oki said to Jack. He sounded impressive. Yeah, Annie's a special way with animals, said Jack, especially dogs. Oki smiled for the first time. Do you and Annie want to come inside and get warm? He said. Sure, thanks, said Jack. Jack and Annie followed the Alaskan boy into the shack. Inside, lantern lit the drafty room that smelled of fish and currencies. Scratchy band music came from the wooden radio with the big knobs. I must speak to my uncle. He is in bed, said Oki. He opened to the door and slipped into another room. Jack and Annie had a look around. Stripes of dread dark pink fish hung from the rack near the stove, which was made from the old Matter Bear, and then wooden bears was sat into the chairs around to the wooden table. Voices come from another room. Jack recognized Oki's. But I can go alone. You. No, you can't, said the deep rasping voice. Jack wondered if Annie should leave. It seemed wrong to overhead the family argument. Let's go outside, he said to Annie. But we have to help fight the epidemic, she said. I know, said Jack. Maybe it will be better to go back to the hospital and listen, Annie interrupted. She pointed to the radio. The music had stopped. A news bulletin and come on. A desperate drama is unfolding in Alaska into the town of Nome. The broadcaster said. No, said Annie. She turned to the volume on the radio. All eyes are on the small icebound town in the northern territory where an outbreak of the deeper has already claimed 5 lives. 20 of the best mushers and more than 160 dogs have been heroically running to the relay across the frozen tundra. They must be traveled a total of 600 miles to get a medicine from Ninla, Alaska, of a town of Nome. That's us, said Annie, hurrying back to the room. But now a blizzard turns of a curtail of an effort to save the residents of Nome, said the announcer. The storms expect to skip down from the Arctic, and the 40-mile-per-hour winds and temperatures as low as 30 degrees below zero. Oh man, said Jack. Isn't it clear whenever the mushes and their old teams of hero ducks must be able to continue, said announcer. The medicine is now in the hands of a champion musher, Gunner Casson. Will he and his lead dog Balto be friends up to stop her life-saving journey? Balto, said Annie. Didn't we have a statue of a Central Park in New York? Yeah, but I can't remember why it's so famous, said Jack. Me neither, said Annie. Will the blizzard keep into the medicine from getting us sick and dying in Nome? Said the announcer. It was a race against the time, a race against the death. The man's voice turned cheerful. And now we return to the music of a King Oliver's Carol Jazz Band. A lively music came on. Oki turned the radio off. I'm taking the dogs, he said. He grabbed a burlap sack hanging near the door and then started filling with the dead fish. I'll take this to feed them along the way. I find Casson, I know. Do not go, please. Jack and Annie turned to see the native Alaskan man hobbling into the room with a crutch. He had a long jet black hair and wore a fur of a pullover with a hood. He was wearing like a face of the dark eyes. He was barely glanced at Jack and Annie as he fixed down on the gaze on Oki. If Gonzer, Cass, and Balto couldn't travel in his weather, neither can you, he said. I can at last try, Uncle Joy, said Oki. I have to. He kept throwing fish into the sack. Do not go out there alone, Oki, respect his uncle. You're not a champion like Salabet or Casson, and none of my dogs are as strong as Togo or Balto. It doesn't matter how great Casson is, said Oki. If he is still sitting at the roadhouse in Salmon. And if he waits for a good reason, said Oki's uncle. Any team can be lost in blizzard. Let me go, please, Oki said, fancying his uncle. No, shouted the man. Jack held a breath as he looked back at the far from Oki's to his uncle. Oh, I think this blizzard is really, really strong, so Oki's uncle is a little bit worried about Oki. But Oki needs to save her sister and his sister and his mom, so to get some medicine from Alaska somewhere. So Oki needs to go. But Oki's brother is Oki's uncle is a little bit worried. So what can Oki do? Let's see that. And Jack held his breath as he looked back at the front of from Oki to his uncle. He started to interrupt, but Jack shook his head at her. This isn't our business, he thought. I have to run back trail many times, said Oki. I can do with my eyes closed. But I've always been with you, said Uncle. You have never gone out alone. I have to try, said Oki. Who will help you without? His Uncle said. Who will help you? If an ice breaks and moves out to the sea, you're gonna be gone forever. Maybe, but what about my mother? Oki cried. And my sister. I can't breathe. They can't breathe. They can't swallow. They were on fire and fever. I promised them medicine will be arrived tonight. If it doesn't come soon, they will be gone forever. I have to hurry. You heard the radio as a race against death. Oki slung a sack of dried fish over to the shoulder and packed up to the Carson's lantern from the table, and then hurried outside. Oh, I think Oki's gonna get the medicine for his sister and mother, so it's a little bit proud, but I'm a little bit worried about Oki too. And now it's chapter 4, Champion Mushers. Now, maybe tomorrow we get the new beginning new stories, because today we're gonna have a lot of time to read all of this story. Now, did you have fun? You love English country. We're gonna come with the new beginning new stories tomorrow. Now, bye-bye everyone and have a nice day. Bye!